Check.
There you got it.
I'm going to see if I can be the loudest person so far. Hi, everybody.
Can people hear?
Can you hear me back there? And I have a bit of a hoarse voice as well because I was doing a lot of cheering at the Leafs game last night.
Woo!
Woo!
They won because of you, right?
Yeah, it was because I was there.
It was your cheer,
really
yeah.
loud.
Yeah, so Ron, it's been a while since I've seen you.
Yeah, indeed.
And all I do is keep on reading about how Hi Mama's doing. So maybe for people that don't know who you are and what Hi Mama is, can we start off just explain what Hi Mama is, what you guys do, and why you started it?
Yep, for sure. Yeah, so Hi Mama is an app for childcare and early learning programs. They use the app to keep families up to date on children's well-being and development, what they're learning and how they're doing in daycare and childcare programs. And started the company in 2013. A big part of that was really just the disconnect with most young parents' experience with everything that they do in their daily life, like ordering coffee at Starbucks on the mobile app and just having it ready when they go to pick it up, versus their experience in a child care program where you drop off the most important human being in your life, check, at in the morning, and then you go home and there's like a 8-hour black hole of information. And you just hope that they're okay for the day. So that was really the problem we were solving.
So can you get more specific? The problem was a lack of knowledge or a lack of technology or with the daycare providers or all of it?
So initially it started out on this communication. And so if there's any parents out there, you probably know what it was like, the first day you drop off your toddler or whatever at a childcare program, you're with somebody who's basically a stranger, like you're kind of freaking out a little bit. So it was really just that sense of security and well-being, knowing that your child's okay, and you're getting that information in a timely way. So that's how we started.
Yeah.
But since then we've really built out a lot more of the software, so then the childcare programs can run their operations using Hi Mama as well.
So when I remember when I first met you, you were sort of, Hi Mama was under the radar. I don't think you had raised a lot of outside financing. How did you manage growth in those first few years?
Yeah, so we started pretty bootstrapped. In fact, that was one of my TechTO presentations many years ago, starting up on a shoestring budget. Certainly we did. So we started in 2013, like I said. We didn't raise institutional money until 2019. So we ran pretty lean for quite a while and just lived off of customer revenue during that time. And it was tough, obviously, but at the end of the day, I think it really actually served us well when we went out to do fundraising, because a lot of investors really appreciated our capital efficiency and our culture of thinking, customer first. And the other thing too about taking a more bootstrapped approach is it forces you to really get to know your customers really well. And that's actually something that distinguished us from our more capitalized competitors who were just kind of running a little bit more of like a SaaS playbook. And we were out talking to early childhood educators and operators of childcare programs.
So in those early days, how did you approach growth? You didn't have lots of capital to just throw around, build a big brand name. What did your unique insights from your customers enable you to, how did it enable you to grow differently?
Yeah, so I think two things. One is we were very intentional about our spending. So we knew that the average child care center was using like no technology at all. And whatever technology we provided them was just blowing them away. So, we were kind of like, they're kind of like using a bicycle. Like, we don't need to create a Lamborghini here. Like, let's just get them, a Honda so they can go from A to B. So we didn't overspend on product and engineering, which is kind of backwards from most other technology startups. We invested a lot in sales. So we just got sales reps. We had people calling childcare programs, learning about their challenges and problems, and that's where we got the funding for running the company. And then we, in terms of learning about the customers, this was a great way for us to learn a lot about them, right? Because we we had people at the company talking to hundreds, thousands of childcare centers and learning about their needs. So for example, we learned that all the childcare programs were following some specific, learning guidelines and requirements, and so we were able to get those kind of things in the market much faster than our competitors were doing out in California.
So I love it. You did sales, you knew your customers, you were able to build products that they actually wanted. Then you started to go raise in 2019, and it seems to be pretty easy to raise for you since, and you just closed a big B round, I think, late last year. So why do you need the capital now? What are you going to do with this B round now that you're, let's call it flush with cash? I don't know if you really are flush with cash, but like you have a lot more than you used to have.
Yeah. So we raised $70 million last year, which was really exciting for Hi Mama. It's also really exciting because we raised the capital from Bain Capital, a really great investor, but also we raised it from their impact fund. It's called Bain Capital Double Impact, and that aligns really well with our social goals as a company. What are we doing with that money? So kind of going back to the question you asked me before, we intentionally invested a lot in sales up front and invested a bit less in product and engineering, and so now we're starting to reverse that a bit. So we're hiring a lot in product and engineering and really bringing our product from something that is loved and used by directors and early childhood educators, and then also to our other important stakeholders. We have well over 1 million parents, and so we're now also investing a lot more in that product that our parents are using as well, and the education side, right? So I mentioned we started on the parent communication. Then we built out a lot of the pieces to run the childcare centers, and now we're really focused on education and learning and development, and there's lots of really cool stuff that we're doing there.
Very cool. And you mentioned social impact. You're a B corporation. For people that don't know what a B corporation is here, can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so technically what it is it means when we make decisions as a company, we consider stakeholders other than just shareholders. So if I'm a normal corporation that's traded on the Toronto Stock Exchange as a CEO, I have a fiduciary duty to provide maximum returns to my shareholders, period. If I do anything else, I can be fired, even if it means like it's going to hurt the environment or infringe on your privacy. Like if it's technically legal and it can make my shareholders more money, I have to do it. That's like a fact. That's how it works, which is obviously kind of backwards with all the problems we have in society right now. So one of my big takeaways from my MBA was that social enterprise is really the future of how companies should work. And so in our actual articles of incorporation as a company, it says that we consider other stakeholders in our decisions, like our customers, the communities we live in and work in, the environment, are all other factors when we make decisions.
And so when it comes to strategy or those decisions, do you have a set of values, a framework? How do you approach those? Because again, I think most people have been working at C Corps or equivalents. They know, again, does this make us money? Is there a return on investment? Hypothetically, it's an easy decision-making process. How does this actually, can you give us an example how this changes how you run the business?
Yeah, I'd say there's kind of like a softer element that is our culture. And so for us, we have 3 core values, which is be a good person, work hard and win. And the reason we're not shy to win is our 3rd core value, which is owning positive change, and that relates to us. And we want to do that at scale, which is an important part of winning as well. So that's kind of the more softer piece of that. But we also, I'm sure you've all seen movies or even experienced in real life people who had good intentions for the world, and then by the time they actually got to where they wanted to be, they're then everything that they didn't want to be, and so an important part is also the systems and processes you scale. So that's something where, for example, with our investor intentionally choosing an impact fund, our executives are compensated based on hitting our social impact goals. And as a board, we talk about our impact metrics and what we're doing to help in the childcare and early learning community as examples. So it's really putting the governance and systems as well, not just saying hey, we're all going to do good. It's having the accountability around it, I guess.
So, love that. As a follow-up, what is the social impact you're trying to have, and how do you measure it?
Yeah, so for us, the social impact is really on two main stakeholders. So the kids, of course, the most important. We really want to impact children's learning and development before the age of 5, which is the time when children's brains develop the most, which is quite backwards to when a lot of the actual, when we think a lot of the actual learning happens, which is when they go to kindergarten or grade 1 and start to like read and do math. For a lot of kids, that's actually too late. In the U.S., tens of thousands of children are expelled from preschool, in fact. So you can only imagine the challenges that those children face. And then how do we measure it? We try to keep them, our goals, as measurable as possible. So, like something with children's development, for example, is very hard to measure. So we use metrics that are like leading metrics. So, for example, how many development assessments or observations per child in the program are happening, so that we know that the children's development is being recorded and acted upon. Like that's just one example. Because some of the other methods are just really, really difficult.
Cool. I love that. Tomorrow, we're going to announce our rocket ship list for 2022. The rocket ship list is the companies we've identified across Canada that can accelerate your career. We went out to many VCs, angels, and other founders, and both Clutch and Hi Mama are on that list. So I'd love to hear how you think about what's unique about your culture, why someone should work with you, and what makes Hi Mama a special place to accelerate your career.
Yeah, so I think for us, one of the things that's unique, and this is where the social impact angle comes in, is the really hard nut that we're trying to crack, and I think we're doing a really good job for where we are, is you want to create a really high performance company. And I mean, like, we want to have really high growth, and we want to have really high profit, because in a social enterprise, profit drives the dollars that are going to go into impact. So we want to have a high performance company because people want to work at a company where you have challenges and there's lots of growth opportunity. But we also want people to, have a great experience culturally, and to make a social impact. And usually those things don't go together. There's not-for-profits, and not-for-profits have a place, and they do great things. But if anybody's ever worked at a not-for-profit or with a not-for-profit, they're typically not known for attracting super high performance talent, right? Because you can't afford it. So this is the balance that we have to try to find, and we're always optimizing on both. So to answer your question, I think it's a really unique experience at Hi Mama to have both those aspects that you're working towards in tandem, and I think it creates some really great learnings and experiences that are a little bit more on the softer skill side, but very valuable. And I think a lot of the folks who join Hi Mama appreciate that, and the value that brings, and not just for them in terms of having a purpose every day, but also for their career.
Love it. So what positions are you trying to hire for, and how can people find out about them?
Yeah, so you can check out our careers page on himama.com. We also have a couple of Hi Mama folks here tonight, Ben and Brittany over there in the corner. And we're hiring for lots of roles at any given time, but primarily right now, a couple of big roles we're looking to fill is in sales. So anyone who's any experience level in sales, both from just getting started out to more experienced sales reps, and also software engineers like everybody else in Toronto and everywhere. Come talk to our team. It's a really unique culture and environment, and with both a challenge in terms of technical as well as culturally a great experience.
Ron, thank you so much for your time. Maybe we'll follow up as we announce our rocket ship list to get some more quotes from you that we can get people to learn more about Hi Mama.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thanks.